Hello and welcome. You're watching IndianExpress.com and I'm Nishan Shekhar. The big breaking news that has just came in is that the Indian government has decided to ban 59 Chinese apps including TikTok and UC Web. Now this decision has came at a time when there is tension between the Indian Armed Force and the Chinese Army at Ladakh border. Now to know more about this, I'm being joined by my editor Nandgopal Rajan.
So please tell me this sudden decision has been taken. What do you think has influenced the decision?
I don't think it's a sudden decision. I think it's a decision that has been evaluated for quite some time now. And even before this Chinese, incursion into Ladakh happened, and there has been a lot of talk about ban TikTok and all these things. So I think it has happened because of some pressure, especially on social media channels. But this was sort of bound to happen. It has happened to 59 apps, and some of these are very popular apps. Like you have, UC Web, which is the default browser in a lot of the affordable Android phones that people are using now. Then there is also the new social media apps like Hello and Likey, which is very popular in the regional markets because they are not English apps. They are by default regional language apps. This is, I think together they would have at least 50, 60 million users. There are some very popular apps which even I've seen government officials also use, something like Cam Scanner, which a lot of documents are scanned using Cam Scanner. So the impact is going to be huge. We will see gradually. I guess a lot of the clamor was around TikTok, but now this list is 59 apps. So the impact will be larger. People will realize that it was not just TikTok, and maybe something that you were using regularly is also now missing.
But this TikTok thing, I think government was also using TikTok app. So is it not very surprising that amid this rising tension on this border and all?
Yeah, so a lot of state governments and like Kerala police, and I think a lot of police, because see, there are a lot of users on TikTok. I guess over 200 million users in India right now, and it's very popular in tier 4, tier 3, tier 2. It is not very popular in the urban areas, right? And it's actually a phenomenon in regional languages, again because it comes from the Chinese mindset that you don't need English to start a very good app, and that is what has helped it become very popular in regional languages. Actually, there is no language in TikTok. It's all video. Video is the language of TikTok. So it is actually a cultural phenomenon. So I don't know how people are going to take it, because there are a lot of people who actually use TikTok a lot. So
one big question arises, Nandu, here. Like how the jobs will be impacted, because many in India work in TikTok. We have an office in Gurgaon. I mean, UC Web is a big company. There's a huge job market also. How do you think this is going to impact this in the current scenario?
There will be a few thousand. Yeah, there will be a few thousand jobs, which will be impacted. But we also need to see whether it's a long-term thing. It could be something that is temporary. If you remember, TikTok was banned last year also for a few days. It came back, it came back after some time. So it could be a little bit of, a pressure tactic kind of thing, where we ban it for some time, hoping that there is impact on China also, and China sort of, also does something to reciprocate and sort of mollify the situation. We don't know. If it's a long-term thing, there are a few thousand jobs at stake. But the bigger thing, I think, is I would say, thousands and thousands of creators on these apps who are actually living off it, right? There are a lot of people who have their sole income coming from this, and it is not just about TikTok. It is about Hello, it is about Likey, it is about this very popular app called Bigo Live, which people don't realize, very popular in India, especially during the lockdown. It has become very, very popular. There are creators on these apps who do live shows, who make money, and that is maybe their sole income. So this is going to have a lot of impact on the market. And you don't have, if you take away an app that has 200 million users, you really don't have a competitor that is maybe 10% of it at the most, right? So it will take time for a big social media app to emerge. So if it's a long-term phenomenon, then there will be a huge impact.
As you mentioned earlier, I mean, this ban just yeah. As you mentioned earlier, this ban came just amid the call for boycott of Chinese products and all. But government has so far not made any announcement in that sense. Do you think this is just tipping point? This is the first step toward that direction?
This also could be a warning, because banning. See, these guys don't have a lot of capital investment in the country, right? Because you can set up an office and start an app. or you don't even need an app. I guess whether a lot of these companies might not even have apps, offices, or big infrastructure in the country. But when you enter the smartphone space, then you are talking about thousands and thousands of jobs, right? And it's not just jobs of people working for that company. There are ancillaries, there are other smaller factories that support this ecosystem. There are guys who make the dabba of the smartphone. There are a lot of these things, and it will be, impact will be huge. There will be impact on the GDP because you're taking away jobs, you're taking away factories. So that is, I think this is the first warning to China to sort of figure out something, and then maybe the next step might happen. But if you see the list, at least one app is from Xiaomi. I think it's a video app which Xiaomi had created. So there is a clear warning. Xiaomi is the largest smartphone manufacturer in India. So there is a clear warning out there.
Okay. So that's all we have for now. Viewers, let's wait what other steps the government take in this direction. Well, thanks for watching IndianExpress.com. And for more news and update, keep logging on to our website, IndianExpress.com.